back. And he's dancing again. I don't know what we're doing here. Okay, anyway. Hey, everybody.
We're being stupid. That's what we're doing, Dad.
Welcome to the June Pool Variety Hour. This is episode 70. We are now, would that be septenarians? Is sept 7? Or is it sect?
We're senior citizens.
Septenarians. Wait till we get to 80, then I know it's octogenarians. I know that, but anyway. So I never
Dad,
get that right.
we're the senior citizens.
Anyway, I am Sean. I'm the old guy of the group. I'm the dad, and the guy on the other screen is my son, and his name is...
Hey, guys. My name is Connor, and I am also known as QuillMiester, and I am also known as the funny man of this group. My dad just makes me look pretty. I bring all the content, let's be honest.
It is better to look good than to feel good. So that's fine.
What's that from?
Oh, that's Billy Crystal as it was like a Fernando Venezuela or Fernando Venezuela. It's rip off. I forgot what he called himself, what his character was on Saturday Night Live, but it's like, it is better to look good than to feel good. What a Fernando something or other.
Okay. This is random, but a scene from
what do you know?
Blazing
We're starting out
Saddles
early with the chickens.
A random scene from Blazing Saddles just appeared in my head. Of Gene Wilder, her pulling this guy from around the corner of this stone thing, and there's a bunch of Klansmen there.
Hey,
with a white
where all the
at.
white women at? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why, but that seems randomly popped in my head, and I can't stop.
You know, cancel culture and all that
they
stuff.
They would have destroyed that movie.
No, listen, I mean, the culture we live in today has ruined comedy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because everybody is offended by everything, and everybody gets angry about everything. And Mel Brooks made a movie where he made fun of everybody, and it was hilarious because nobody took it seriously. He made fun of the Jewish people as much as anybody else. He's Jewish. I mean, you know, it's like
Mel Brooks is Jewish.
Have you listened to the guy talk?
I was
Mel Brooks.
I was thinking about Mel Gibson, the guy from Passion. Sorry.
No, he's Catholic.
They're both named Mel.
He's
sorry.
Catholic. And,
I'm sorry.
And Mel Gibson got into some hot water several years ago for going on a drunken tirade that was kind of anti-Semitic. So, you know, kind of hard to get those two confused. But apparently,
it's because I was thinking
you're talented because you did it anyway. So, anyway. Welcome to episode 70. Like I said, we just kind of hang out and talk about some nerdy stuff. We review some weird random movie that we pick. We do some kind of geek question, and then we just chase a lot of chickens. You already heard one chicken. We've already chased one. So
this show is less about our content and just more about a father and son getting together once a week and being goofy together, you know?
Yeah.
Getting out all this nerdy energy, you know, we don't really get out at home, you know?
Right. And so, you know, we always start with kind of what's going on with us, any kind of life updates, and then we'll do the geek question. And then we're doing, as you can see on the screen, we're going to be talking about Santa Jaws tonight. Now, if you guys were here last week,
Santa Jaws is coming to town.
If you listened to last week's episode, you know, we rolled for a movie called Cutter's Way with John Hurd and Jeff Bridges. Apparently, it's no longer free on Prime. It was when we picked it, but it's not now. So Connor hit me to that this weekend, and I went, okay, well, it's December. Let's just do weird Christmas movies for the month of December. he's like,
Oh,
okay. So they're not that random. I just went and picked all the Christmas movies on the streaming services and looked at the ones that looked like they were the weirdest or most unusual, and I said, we're gonna do that one. And so we're gonna do a movie called Santa Jaws today about a jingle bellin' shark that eats people and stuff.
He sees you when you're swimming. He knows when you are drunk.
I don't remember how the song went, but anyway, so we'll talk about that later. But is anything funny, especially interesting, or stuff like that going on with you?
Let's see. Interesting. Our trip is literally next week to come and visit you guys.
Yep, it's a week from Wednesday.
That's gonna be fun.
It's a week from Wednesday, yeah. So we'll be doing. We got one more podcast episode like this next week, and
we may be able to do another one on the Friday while I'm visiting.
Right here
side
together,
by side, like the old days.
Like the old days. Your mom was actually asking me about that last night. I'll chase the chicken here. Your mom was asking me about that last night. She said, "Which did you prefer? Do you prefer doing the podcast with Connor like we do it now, where we're looking at each other like this, or when we were sitting next to each other?" And I said, actually, I prefer the way we're doing it now.
Really?
This is why. Because I said, when we sat... this is why. Because I get to look at you, right?
Yeah.
When we sat next
to each other, you couldn't.
Well, I mean, I could. She said, but you could still look at him on the screen. I'm like, yeah, but he was sitting right next to me. So your instinct is when he says something to you, you turn to look at him. And so you're doing this the whole time. And I says, and I don't like doing that. I much prefer looking at him the whole time. So I like this better. And we have more room because this was kind of a tight space for the two of us.
True.
It's kind of a tight space for just me.
There's always the possibility of us sitting at opposite ends of the table looking at each other and the camera doing kind of a wide angle thing.
No, maybe
really?
you could sit at that corner and I could put the camera over there maybe and we could do it at an angle that way. But then all you get is the blanket for the backdrop.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's move on.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with either method.
I'm not going to interrupt family visit time for the podcast next Friday. If it opens up as a possibility, sure. But so, like I said, bring your mic just in case. But other than that, don't expect anything. We'll see. Okay. So, okay. So nothing else. You said you sent me a text earlier today and says today started out with a bang. What happened?
It started out with a literal bang. There was a giant crash on the bumper assembly line.
Oh.
Yeah, turns out one of the crews who worked either a third shift or the weekend shift left one of the maintenance doors open, and that led into the actual main conveyor for the hangers going up through the wash and through assembly.
Yeah.
And that door was left open, and so a bunch of hangers kind of got caught in the door. Essentially 4 carriers got crashed, bent, and basically had to be cut apart just to untangle them.
Wow.
So,
that sounds pretty similar to a scene in my short story.
Except no one got pinned under a car
and stuck like a giant tick. Courtney liked that image. She said when she read it, she says, "I thought that was funny."
And there was no secret telepath there.
You don't know that. If it's secret, how do you know if that it was or not? Wasn't?
Because there's no such thing as telepaths, Papa.
Yeah. That you know of. The CIA may have something different to say about that. But anyway, that's another issue.
We're not talking.
If you want to know what we're talking about, go on Amazon and buy Misspelled. It's an anthology of short stories, and I've got a short story in it, and it's for charity. So just look up Misspelled Legion of Dorks, and you'll find the book. It's $12.99. Buy it. The money goes to Toys for Tots for charity, and you get a bunch of nerds that wrote short stories about magic that went awry. And mine is the very last story in the book. Speaking of which, when it came out a few weeks ago, I bought me a copy. Obviously, really. I mean, I bought it the day it was out and got it. And then today, when I'm checking the mail, I have this book And I'm like, this is kind of weird. And it was to me, and I'm like, I didn't order a book. I don't. What is this? Is this something that your mom ordered, but it came in my name? And I opened it up, and Kelly Colby, from Cursed Dragon Ship, the publishing company that put out the book, and she was the editor. She sent me a copy as a gift, so I have a second copy now. So that was cool.
Send it to me.
No, I'll probably I'll take it to our big family Christmas, and because I know your grandmother would like to read it. I know Grammy would like to read it. Paige has already bought a copy. Aunt Paige has already bought a copy.
Nice.
So
if I had the money to spare, I would buy myself a copy too.
I'm not worried about that. So anyway,
let's see. This is a fun plan for my visit. A bunch of mine and Nikki's friends who all live in Georgia, which actually a good bit of them still do, who on Sunday, the 19th, we're all gonna meet at the Georgia Aquarium and hang out there for the day.
Okay. That's cool. You might want to make sure Mom hadn't made family plans.
It was gonna be after church.
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, just saying. Just let Mom know that so she can plan accordingly.
Okay.
Because if she doesn't know that, she may have already been planning something for the family to do after church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't know that she has, but it would really not go over well if there was a
since I already bought the tickets and they're non-refundable.
Yeah. So you might want to talk to Mom and just let her know.
Okay,
ahead of time, and she'll be fine with it. I just don't want there to be a conflict of schedules.
Yeah, of course.
So okay, cool.
Right. And then let's see. This year I'm one of my gifts I'm crafting for Nikki. I'm sorry, one of the gifts for Nikki. I'm actually hand making, and this is what I have so far.
Isn't she in the other room? Isn't she in the other room?
She already knows.
Oh.
Yeah, there was some heavy emotions the other day, and some motives being questioned, and I calmed her down by showing her that I was hand making something that she was then literally brought to tears over because she loved him so much. So they're not finished yet, but they're close.
Okay.
These eventually are going to become tree ornaments. One for her and one for her best friend Kat in Virginia.
Okay.
And they're themed off of something from their favorite video game series, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
It's something called a Paupu fruit. It's basically this star-shaped fruit, and if two people eat them, they're friends forever and always connected.
Okay.
And so they've always had a big impact in the game and in their lives. So I thought it'd be cute to kind of make one for Nikki and one for Kat to kind of put on their trees every Christmas.
That's cool, Connor. You are so considerate, and you think of people so well. You're the antithesis of your selfish dad. So
you're not selfish.
What?
You're not.
Kind of am.
Give me one example.
No, I'm not going to go into personal history
on
the podcast. But suffice it to say, it's something that I struggle with every day. It's one of my issues that I struggle with. So, all right, cool.
But anyway, hang on. That's everything I have.
All right. Me, still don't have a job.
But now, you're close.
Yeah, I'm close. As a matter of fact, I know I'm going to be getting an offer. Well, I mean, I got those two offers, one from Ohio, one from Texas. I found out today that my stuff in Ohio got approved by their human resources department, and they were forwarding it to the medical director of the hospital today. So I still don't know what the final offer is going to be, but I know that there's a final offer out there. I'm just waiting to get it. Have not heard anything really from the Texas job in a while, so I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow and see. But, and then your mom and I'll have to kind of decide. But, if it's anywhere, if the one in Ohio is anywhere close to acceptable, and it's not like a huge pay cut or something like that, then that's probably the one we'll go with, just because it's closer. It's closer to everybody, really, of the two. Now it's about a 14-hour drive to your mom's mom, out in Oklahoma, but it's a 13-hour drive from where we're at now, so it's only an hour further. And if we live in Texas, it's about a 10-hour drive. So we'd be a little bit closer there, but we would be 17 hours from my family and about 24 hours from you.
Yeah.
So we would be of the two, we'd kind of prefer the Ohio because we prefer cold into the... Oh, we looked on a map. This tells you how far south this town in Texas is. We looked at the map, looked at the globe.
Yeah.
It's parallel with Miami, Florida. That's how far south it is in Texas.
Oh, god dang.
So it's like super south.
How close to the border is it?
About 20 miles.
Oh, so yeah, so it's like really down there.
It's if we drove from our house to my mom and dad's house out on the lake, we would be in Mexico.
Yeah. God dang.
I'm pretty much that close. So anyway, so that's going on. So don't know for sure. The house is kind of a wreck right now because we're in the middle of trying to pack things up. We got some Christmas stuff out. We're going through Christmas stuff to get rid of Christmas stuff because this is the curse of the American society. You fill whatever size house you're in. If you have a 2-bedroom house, you fill it with stuff. If you have a 5-bedroom house, you fill it with stuff. So we have a house full of stuff. Oh, sorry. I don't know why that happened. My finger touched the touch screen over here. Sorry about that. So we're going to dance to the elevator music. So anyway, keep my fingers away from the touch screen. So,
no touchy. No touch.
No touchy. So anyway,
Fade.
So we're trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff and sort through stuff and decorate, and it's just crazy. I took 2 truckloads of stuff to the dump today. Just trying to get rid of it.
Mom did text me earlier today if there was any kind of Christmas stuff we wanted, but honestly, we have as much as we can put in here.
I'm sure, but look, we're just trying to get rid of anything.
I know,
and we're trying to give it to the family first before we just get rid of it.
But if you want, if you want to save that nice wooden nativity scene for me when I get my first house, you could do that.
Talk to your mom.
Okay.
Talk to your mom. She's on that. She's on that duty. So
right.
Anyway, so that's really all that's been going on. It's like house, trying to figure stuff out and getting the job taken care of, and looking at lots of houses and trying to decide what we're going to do about a house. So that's all I've been doing. As there's no work stuff to talk about, that's for sure.
I honestly did think the house down in Georgia would be the house my your grandkids come and visit. I really thought that.
Your mom had a weak moment the other day when she was thinking about the fact that this is the house that our kids grew up in. This is that, you
this
and Luke
is the house.
You were born in Chicago, but you don't remember that. But you grew up early years in Bismarck, and Luke and Mitch were born in Bismarck. They don't remember it really. So this is the house that y'all really grew up in. And so that's going to be hard. So she really wants to make sure that when you guys are here, that we get a nice picture. I don't mean like dress up kind of picture, but a nice picture of the 5 of us in front of the house while y'all are here.
5 of us meaning me, Luke, Mitch, you and Mom.
The 5
Luke's gonna
of
be
us.
there.
Luke's still here. He hasn't gone. He's not going to be reporting till probably like March.
Awesome. So Nikki will finally get to meet Luke.
Yes. So we
cool.
want to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Mom really wants that. Okay, so that's it. There's no really exciting.
That's the heavy stuff.
I will say I'm going to put a plug in for this movie. It's not a nerdy movie. It's a documentary. It's on Netflix. Oh my gosh, it's called 14 Peaks. Your mom and I were saying, hey, let's watch a movie the other night, and she, your mom loves documentaries, and we saw that one. It looked kind of interesting, and so we said, okay, we watched that one. She fell asleep, and I was riveted.
What's it about?
14 peaks. There's 14 mountains in the world that are over 8,000 meters tall. Okay, 8,000 meters is about 26,000 feet above sea level. Okay,
which is what in miles?
I don't know the
13 miles.
Google it. I don't know. While I'm talking, look it up. How many feet is it? How many feet is in a mile? So anyway.
Hey Siri, how many feet are in a mile?
Sorry.
The answer is 5,280 feet.
5,280 feet.
Okay, so about 5 miles straight up.
Dang, that's heavy.
So there's 14 mountains in the world that are taller than 8,000 meters. There's only 14 in the whole world.
Dang.
One guy, the first guy that ever climbed all 14 mountains, took 16 years to do it. Okay,
So it's almost 1 year per mountain.
Yeah, but it didn't take him a year. I mean, he had to.
I know.
He had to recover from it and organize the trip and all this kind of stuff. The shortest amount of time that all 14 mountains have been climbed is 7 years. This documentary is about a man and his crew. They climbed all 14 mountains in 7 months.
Wait, what?
They climbed all 14 mountains, the top 14 tallest mountains in the world, in 7 months.
That's basically 2 a month.
Dude, they climbed. There was one section. I think it was Pakistan. There are 3 in Pakistan. I think it was Pakistan, where they're kind of close together. They summited 3 of the 14 mountains in 48 hours. In 2 days.
Okay, were they using vehicles?
They did 3 mountains in 2 days.
Were they were they flying? Were they using vehicles?
They climbed them, and
full on human ingenuity, human body climb.
Yep, and so they, most of these mountains, these big mountain climbs, they have camps. You have your base camp at the base of the mountain. You have camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, camp 4. You have stages, and you'll spend the night there, or whatever. One of the mountains, they skipped all the camps. They did the whole thing in just one straight day. Just start at the bottom and boom, to the top and boom, back down. I mean,
started at the bottom, now they're there.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I was riveted, and it was such beautiful scenery when you saw them summiting a mountain. And like, for example, Mount Everest, it's 29,000 feet. It's almost 6,000 miles straight up.
6,000 miles?
I mean, 6 miles. 6 miles. Sorry, 6 miles.
To
straight
say.
Up. But to see them standing,
miles, that's almost to the moon.
To see them standing on the top of these mountains and just looking and seeing nothing but clouds because they're above the clouds, kind of stuff. It was so. It's on Netflix. You definitely need to check it out. It's super fascinating. So anyway,
can't you see the curvature of the Earth on one of those mountain peaks?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you could see it in the movie. You can see it in the movie, too.
That's another thing that should immediately disprove any flat Earth nonsense. When you can climb something and literally see the curvature of the Earth.
Going back to a previous episode.
Right? Exactly. If you can climb something and physically see it curl and bend and become... just be a circle.
Yeah.
It's not flat.
Yeah. So
it's like,
so in terms of movies, that's one that I watched recently that was really good. Other cool stuff, the Destiny 30th anniversary stuff comes out tomorrow. So if you got it, which I do, I'll get Galahorn. They're remaking Galahorn for Destiny 2, so I'll get that tomorrow.
Hey, Dad.
Yes, I know you got one before me. I know, I got it.
I got
Rub it
in for you from a purple engram.
Yes, I know. So anyway,
and that's done.
So that's coming out tomorrow. Also, Halo Infinite came out this week. The multiplayer stuff had come out a few weeks ago, but the campaign I think comes out on Game Pass.
Like I've missed out on Halo.
It's a first-person shooter.
To play it from the beginning several times, but I couldn't get into it.
Well, I don't think you're a big first-person shooter kind of guy anyway.
What do you think Borderlands is? What do you think Mass Effect
Well, but
is? What do you think Skyrim is?
No, Mass Effect isn't really a first person shooter.
It's
That's
third person.
It's third person. It's action. There's role playing involved. There's no role
What
playing.
about Borderlands?
Borderlands, there's a little bit of role playing involved because you're creating the character and you're adding stats and this kind of stuff. And it's the humor. That's what draws you in a lot, right? So
That's true.
yeah. So yes, it's a first person shooter, but it's not in the vein of a classic first person shooter, which Halo is. So that's probably why it doesn't draw you in that much. And it's a sci-fi setting, which you're not really into sci-fi.
Again, what do you think Mass Effect and Borderlands
Well, Borderlands not so much, but Mass Effect, yes.
There's a literal teleportation and freaking.
Again, it's the humor that pulls you in on that one. Though.
Yes, but still, I am a big sci-fi fan thanks to Mass Effect.
Yeah, just not movies and stuff. You're not really a big sci-fi movie guy.
It depends on what kind of movie, you know.
Okay, name a sci-fi movie you like. Name a sci-fi movie that you like.
Ascension.
Which one is Ascension?
I believe that's one with Gal Gadot flying through space. Hey, so trying to get from basically one station to another based on a true story. Was that?
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, it was a movie.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I believe it's called Ascension. It may star Gal Gadot, may star someone else, but essentially it's a story. It's the true life story of this female astronaut who got stranded out in a spacewalk and basically had to try and go from one satellite station to another to try and get back to Earth.
Wasn't that Sandra Bullock? That was Sandra Bullock. That wasn't Gal Gadot.
Sandra Bullock, that's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that okay. And I don't think that was not based on a true story. I don't think.
Are you sure?
And if it was, then it's not science fiction. It's science fact.
Okay, Star Wars. Star Wars.
Okay, fine. All right.
Let's see. Men in Black. The Matrix.
Okay. So you've proved your point.
Yeah.
But you've always told me you're not a big sci-fi guy. That you prefer fantasy to sci-fi. So anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true.
Okay.
So then this has all just been for naught.
All for nothing. Which is a lot of what these podcasts are, all for nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just us being stupid.
So let's do the geek question. How about that?
Yeah, you ask it this time. I don't remember what it is. I've got an answer for it. I just don't remember what it is.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
All right. So the geek question is, and I got to pull up to get it. See if I got it worded right. All right. So what fictional story set on or underwater is your favorite and why?
Okay. Oh well, that's easy. Atlantis, the Lost Empire.
Why?
Okay. For one, it's a nice classic adventure story with all the tropes played perfectly. And not pandering to those kinds of tropes. It's a nice blend of good storytelling. It's really an unsung gem in Disney's archives. It really is.
I agree.
Plus Michael J. Fox did an amazing job playing Milo.
I thought they all did.
I literally could not hear anyone else play Milo except him.
No, and I couldn't really hear anybody else play the other characters either. To be honest with you, now
that's true.
The little Hispanic, mechanic girl.
Yeah,
I mean, she didn't do much for me one way or the other. The French guy.
I had a crush on her growing up.
The French guy that loved the dirt. I mean, he was okay, but the other characters.
I still want to cosplay. Is that guy and pose on my knees?
The other characters, though, I thought they nailed the voices for all of them. I thought they were really good for all of them. And it wasn't that those two were bad. It's just they just didn't really stand out to me like the other ones did.
Yeah,
I
know.
And Akita, was it Kita?
Yeah, Kita.
I mean, she was okay, but but anyway, I thought they all did pretty well. It was one of the ones that I liked. It's probably one of my.
It's still one of my go-to movies. It's still one of the few Disney movies I go to and rewatch on a regular.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but that's because I don't have kids in the house anymore. But
you should rewatch it. Oh, also rewatch Treasure Planet.
Yeah, that's another good one.
That's another unsung gem.
Yeah.
I love Martin Short's character in that, the robot.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
man.
so what's your favorite part about Atlantis? Yeah.
Let's see. My favorite. Let's see. My favorite backstory actually has to be Joshua Sweet's one. Because back in that time both both African Americans and Native Americans weren't seen in the best light in that time period, and this guy who's a child of both became this respected doctor, and it was welcomed in a primarily white environment,
Right.
and that just shows how hard he worked to get to that point, and so that I really respect about the character.
Yeah, and I get that.
My favorite scene.
Yeah, what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene still has to be Milo's big inspirational speech atop the fish ship thing, and then everyone flying to go rescue Kira after she's been crystallized and taken by Rourke. That whole speech and that whole battle scene, it gets me riled up and smiling every single time,
Yeah.
Especially when Vinny discovers his giant pufferfish can shoot friggin' ionized beams of light.
Right.
Okay,
right.
now things are getting good.
Yeah. It's and we still quote that movie sometimes. Like just last night, I was getting stuff out of the attic, in the garage. That's our access to the attic, Christmas decorations and stuff. And your mom's been cleaning in the garage because we've been trying to get rid of stuff so we have room to store stuff as we're doing all this transition. And so there was a huge pile of dirt that she had swept up. And as I'm moving and I stepped down, I stepped right in it, and she went, "You stepped in the dirt, didn't you?" I know it. You sat in the dirt, but she said it.
You sat in the dirt. Joe Money must have invade plants. Which is funny because it did.
You sat in the dirt, didn't you? So anyway, I mean, we still do that. So that was kind of funny that just came up just last night.
But the line we always quote in our family.
I'm gonna say
money.
I'm gonna say money. Yeah. So
we have quoted that line for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, we have.
Then that one and Alama, he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah. Weird. So anyway,
those two lines we've quoted more often in our family than I think any other family should ever do.
Yeah. Squeak, squeak, squeaker, squeaking, squeaker. So anyway.
Squeak, squeaking, squeak, squeaker, squeaking.
So anyway, that's a good one. I didn't. Okay, sorry, I was going to go with mine.
My least favorite movie, around water, is Waterworld.
I didn't mind that one. I mean, it was basically Mad Max on the water.
And that's why I didn't like it. They were basically copying him, this whole other franchise,
sure,
basically in a totally different setting.
Right. But here's the thing. So I didn't see it as a bad movie. I've watched it. I've rewatched it. I've seen it a few times. So
so have I, but it's just it's my least favorite.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just not something I enjoy.
Here's my thing. It's not in my opinion. This is my opinion that it was a bad movie. It was just that it was completely derivative. It was completely basically Mad Max on water, and that it went so over budget and they spent so much money making this movie. and then it bombed at the box office. So that's what made it so bad. If it had been a cheaply done movie, it didn't cost them much, they didn't lose a lot of money or made a little bit of money, it wouldn't have been as bad. But it's because they spent so much making the movie and made so little, it got such a bad reputation.
I mean, why did they spend so much money? When you think about it, they had the cheapest scenery in the world. Just basically plop them in the ocean and bam.
Yeah, but they had to build the sets out in the ocean, and that was the thing. They wanted to do it in the ocean. They wanted to build the sets in the ocean and do it out there, not in like a huge tank. And so that was part of what made it cost so much. But anyway,
the one thing I still can't understand about that movie is that whole giant vat of decomposing stuff to try and make fresh land for the tree. I still don't fully get that.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew that would never actually make Earth, right?
Yeah,
they knew
but
that, right?
It wasn't, but it was like it was like compost.
Yeah, but
compost helps things grow.
You still need some sort of Earth base to start on.
Not if it sits long enough. I guarantee you, Mom's compost thing that she's got in the backyard, I guarantee if you take that lid off, there's stuff growing out of all that stuff.
I've seen it, and it's completely empty.
Nope.
There's basically mushrooms growing at the bottom, but that's it.
That stuff growing, isn't it?
I know.
Okay, there's stuff growing, and it's not dirt. I'm just saying, it does happen. It does happen.
And then
you grew in the dirt, didn't you?
Another thing.
Yeah.
The mutation thing.
Yeah. That
I don't get. I mean, first off, a mutation literally cannot form that fast. It's basically only been I feel like at most 3 or 4 generations since the whole water flooding thing happened, and this guy had freaking gills.
Yeah.
You know, that's too fast.
Well, look, I know, I get it, but it was a movie. I mean, these movies are not expected to be realistic.
Did it start Kevin Costner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So, and the little girl. You remember the little girl in the movie Waterworld?
That had the map on her back. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you know who that is?
Gal Gadot.
No.
Sorry. She's on my head for some reason.
Apparently. No. Napoleon Dynamite. The girl that he liked in Napoleon Dynamite. It's the same girl.
Scrunchy girl?
Yeah. Same girl.
That's her.
Yep. Same girl. Yep.
I guess I don't recognize her without
without
scrunchies in her hair.
So when I saw her in Napoleon Dynamite, I went, "Hey, Waterworld kid." Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. So anyway, okay. So now my turn. So I guess I didn't think animated movies. I wasn't going in that direction. Of course, if you went anime direction, of course, there's Finding Nemo, which is a fantastic movie.
Ponyo.
I didn't see Ponyo. It's anime, right? Ponyo. Yeah. I don't.
One of Studio Ghibli's best movies in my opinion.
So
starring Liam Neeson, believe it or not.
Okay. But anyway, I don't watch anime, so of course I didn't say Ponyo. So Finding Nemo would have been a good one if I was thinking animated, but I was thinking more live action, special effects stuff. And I think the one that I would probably pick would be The Abyss.
I've seen that one.
Oh,
that's the one with those like underwater aliens that made sentient water stuff.
Yep.
Where
the guys that could
like mimic the face.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I remember watching that with you a couple times.
I just love that, and with Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio and Ed Harris, and there's just the cast was good.
Ed Harris, why does that name sound familiar?
He's been in stuff before. Did you ever see Snowpiercer?
No.
Oh, that's another good one. Kind of weird, but good.
That's right in my wheelhouse.
He's and it's dystopian future type stuff. So
basically, the entire human race is on a train that goes around the world, right?
Yep, because of global warming, they tried to put some stuff in the atmosphere that would cool the atmosphere down, and it did it too well, and it created a worldwide ice age.
Ice Age.
And so the entire surviving members of the planet lived on this train that never stopped moving and circled the world forever.
Now,
and
so-
he was the
so
designer of
then-
the train.
So then does that mean basically the entire planet is covered in ice? It's just one giant ice cube?
Yep. The entire planet was
Even
covered
the
in ice.
oceans.
Everything was ice. Everything
Even
was
the
frozen.
ocean.
Everything was frozen. Yes, everything was frozen. Yes, solid.
That shouldn't be possible. It would literally have to be negative hundreds of degrees to first
I'm
off
just-
freeze the ocean.
Okay, Connor, it may not have frozen the ocean all the way to the bottom, but it may have frozen like the hundreds and hundreds of feet of ocean water so that they couldn't get to the bottom. I don't know.
That's messed up.
Again,
That's
it's a movie. Suspend belief a little bit, suspend reality a little bit, and enjoy it. So anyway, so I thought it was an interesting concept. It was almost like a space movie, but underwater. So it was really science fiction, but underwater. Now,
I mean, it had aliens.
I think I've got the DVD, or have I got the Blu-ray? I think I've got the DVD. I don't think I've got the Blu-ray of it.
You've got the DVD.
Um,
I remember watching the DVD several times.
And I think I've got the extended. I think it's got the extended edition, and so it has a lot of extra footage at the end. So it was just fascinating that I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about why I liked it so much. I just liked it because they did so much work.
It struck a chord with you.
They did so much of the actual acting underwater. Now, of course, they did use a big tank. They didn't go to the bottom of the ocean and do this with actors. But the actors really did a lot of that swimming in the movie, back and forth, and so the special effects were pretty good. The
Water tendril.
Yeah, the water tendril thing. I mean, that was pretty cutting edge, special effects at the time.
For the time.
Yeah, for the time. Right. So that was really cool. And I saw something, because you remember there's the part where, they have the fluid, the oxygenated fluid, so they can deal with the pressure, because then they just breathe water.
Yeah.
Or this fluid. And they took the guy's pet rat and stuck it in there to show him how it worked.
Yeah.
And I saw something, and they really did submerge that rat in that water or that liquid.
Yeah.
But I saw something one time that explained how they did that, and I wish I could remember how they did it. But they did something where the rat didn't die, but it did go underwater. But I don't know how they did it. But it was pretty fascinating how they figured out how to do these things, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and I just like Ed Harris. I like Ed Harris
I mean,
and pretty much everything he does. So
I mean, I think rats as a species are able to for short periods of time at least
I don't
survive underwater just because of their environments where they normally live.
they survive underwater, but they're not breathing the water though, because there's no oxygen in the water. They can't process the oxygen that's in the water. You have to have gills to do that. So they can't breathe the water like a fish can. So anyway,
Technically, frogs can't either.
But
they don't have gills, but they can survive underwater.
yeah, but they hold their breath forever, just like a turtle does. It's not breathing; they're just holding it. So, as far as I guess, if we're gonna do my least favorite movie that's water based, that's super easy. Jaws.
That's just because it scarred you for life.
Is that not a good enough reason? Is that not a good enough reason?
A good enough reason.
It's my least favorite because it scarred me. It's a fascinating movie. It's a well done movie. I think it was Spielberg's first movie that he did.
Yeah.
I think.
And everything kept on going wrong with it.
And it was Richard Dreyfuss's big break as an actor. It was a fascinating movie, well acted, really good movie. I was just forced to watch it from the front row of the theater and got to at 7 years old and watch a 40-foot shark eat people at 7 years old. Yes, it traumatized me. Absolutely. 100%, unashamedly, yes, I have some PTSD from that. Absolutely. Still to this day. Still to this day.
I know.
I exist with it. You know, I'll get in the ocean. I won't go very deep, and I won't stay very long, but I'll get in there. So,
I mean,
and now,
honestly, I'm not that afraid of sharks.
but
I mean, yes, if you see one out in the wild, it's scary. But if you see one, it's very likely it's not going to attack you because I believe everything people have always said. Literally hundreds of factors all have to line up perfectly in order for the shark to even look at you as possible sustenance.
Well, now at least look, as long as the shark doesn't have jingle bells on it, I'm okay.
Or
after this movie that we watched,
or Christmas lights it can use to literally lasso you and yank you in the water.
That's right. Yeah.
Semi-fakely.
There's no semi-fakely to any part of this movie. It was about as fake as you can get. Come on, man. There was nothing believable about.
I just hope.
I guess we should probably
also done. I just hope the shark also doesn't have some kind of weird candy corn horn.
Well, so anyway, so maybe let's start that segment then. Let's start the roll for credit segment, okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we're talking about the 2018 high school drama AV club movie, because that's what it seemed like. Santa Jaws. Santa Jaws. So the little thing here is Cody is an aspiring comic book artist who happens to be gifted with a pen which changes reality. As he first draws Santa Jaws, making it come to life as Cody's family and friends are picked off. First, no one believes him, but soon his remaining family and friends find out it's true and race to battle for survival. Who will win? So, a kid draws a shark and calls him Santa Jaws with a Santa hat on its fin, with a magic German pen, and it comes to life and starts eating people. That's this movie.
Okay, here's one thing I want to address about this movie.
Please do.
Well, actually, it's two things.
I'm sure I've got lots.
No, it's one thing with 2 points. One,
okay,
the shark is literally only dangerous at most 1 month out of the year. At most 1 month out of the year.
If you go with their logic in the movie, you're absolutely right, because in the movie
it's only attracted to anything Christmas.
It's only attracted to anything Christmas. And what was the first thing that drew it in to kill Pawpaw?
Eggnog.
Yep.
Eggnog is its chum. There was literally a point in the movie where they made chum with Christmas cookies and eggnog.
There you go. Now that's some chum I could dive into.
Still.
That, you know what? I would probably say that I've probably eaten some things that probably look like Christmas chum at some point. Lots of eggnog and lots of Christmas
point my second point is this thing again is only deadly if you're near the water. I mean literally if you're on land for even a 2 feet distance, ain't gonna get you.
Dude, it jumped up on the deck like a seal to grab Mom.
Yes.
At the end. So, no, and she was more than 2 feet away from the edge of that thing. And it you know.
But still, if you're far enough on land or high enough up enough, it can't get you.
But you do know that in real life.
It's now granted it did that stupid thing with the freaking Christmas lights around its tail, use them as a goddamn lasso to bring the token hot chick, into the water.
Because it's a
Very,
magical
very
shark.
fakely, I might add. You could tell she was basically just standing there, and people were pretending to pull her. And then finally, when she was quote unquote yanked in the water, she basically swan dived back.
Yeah.
She wasn't actually yanked back.
So anyway,
You were saying, I'm sorry.
so no,
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that in real life, that great white sharks can breach like 10 feet out of the water. When they come at that island in off South Africa coast or whatever, they come from deep to get the seals, and you see them breach out of the water. So anyway, but so the story is this kid is a aspiring comic artist, and he's been drawing and pilling with this character called Santa Jaws. And his parents
just as a goof, just as a goof.
Yeah, and then his parents are really kind of bagging on his comic book work, and he drew some caricature of the high school principal, and he got in trouble for it, so his mom grounded him, and so he was mad and was grounded to his room. He went to his room, and there was a gift in there, and it was from his grandfather, and it was a wooden box with a fancy looking pen inside, and it said something on in German on the top. And so he took out the pen and said, "Oh, this is really cool," and he finished drawing Santa Jaws with the magic pen, and Santa Jaws came to life in the water and then started terrorizing people and killing people. And it started with his grandfather, because he and his grandfather on Christmas Eve morning went out fishing and on the shore, and there goes Chase, and ate him, and it started from there. And he started trying to tell his parents that it happened, and they thought he was lying and making stuff up, and nobody believed him. But then family members and friends started dying one by one, right? So it's your typical kind of, it's almost like a typical serial killer kind of plot design that people just get picked off one by one, kind of like in Jaws or whatever. Except what?
Except it's done by a 20-foot great white shark with glowing red Rudolph eyes, a Santa hat on its dorsal fin, Christmas lights wrapped around its tail, which again apparently it can use as a goddamn lasso to pull someone from on land into the water, and then eventually through the process of the film gains
a unicorn horn.
Christmas ball, gains a sharpened candy cane horn, and it basically makes it a freaking unicorn, but whatever the crap, and it bites down on a bunch of Christmas ball ornaments, and its teeth become literally shards of Christmas ball ornaments.
So here's what happened. So they were trying to figure out how to kill this thing. And friends and family started figuring out that this thing is real, it's really happening, and they kept trying to kill it. And so they're trying to figure out, okay, if it came to life when you drew it, so now kind of redraw it to make it not dangerous anymore. So the first thing they did was took out the teeth. So what did the shark do? It went. There was a box of Christmas balls on the dock. He knocked it over and then chewed all of them and created Christmas ornament teeth. I keep knocking Chase over. Christmas ornament teeth. So then he had red and green teeth. Okay. So then they tried to create this torpedo, this candy cane, because they found out you can only be hurt by Christmas things too. So they tried to create this candy cane torpedo spear thing. And it speared the shark right in the nose, basically, and created a unicorn horn. And a unicorn horn. So now it had a candy cane unicorn horn, Christmas ornament teeth, and so it was. Okay. It just got more ridiculous as it went on.
That to work on, they should he should have added the second part of it coming out from the other end of the shark to make it look like a longer candy cane came through and pierced all the way through it, and instead of basically just tapping it in the forehead.
It just got stuck. It didn't go all the way through. So
no, but that's the thing. That's how he drew. It's basically just one piece in its forehead. If you had continued drawing and made the other end came out of the other end of the shark, it would have made a longer candy cane that then would have pierced through the whole shark.
Yeah. So
So that was an error.
So everybody's pretty much dead. Okay, first of all, his grandfather, then his uncle, then the uncle's wife.
His uncle, who's a Snapstagram model.
Yeah, she was a Snapstagram model. That's what they called it, Snapstagram. Then she died.
With 120,000 followers.
Then his best friend died. Then the comic shop owner died. Then the love interest died. So the only people left were the kid,
his brother, and his
parents.
And eventually they all died.
So they try to. Dad's like a physics teacher. They have a dockside restaurant, and so they decide they're going to try to kill this thing with exploding
Christmas turkeys.
With exploding Christmas turkeys. They put explosives inside the Christmas turkeys. They made a catapult out of a picnic table. Literally cut a picnic table up and turned it into a catapult. For the receptacle to hold the turkey, it was a frying.
They used the pan.
It was a baster pan, and they were literally flinging. Now, this whole thing, all the water stuff, was filmed in a marina. I mean, clearly, it was just they filmed it in a marina, some local marina. I guarantee you, the houses that they were using as their houses was probably the director or somebody's house that they were actually using. It was their neighborhood, and it was probably their marina. and so they were flinging turkeys at this thing, and they missed. They had 3. They missed left. They missed right. They
missed down in the middle.
They flung the third one, but it flopped and it landed on the dock. So the big brother, who's a baseball pitcher, said, "I'll get it." Runs down there and gets the turkey and throws it at the shark, and the shark jumps up on the dock and eats the brother. So then
skewers him first with
right
made unicorn horn.
Right, and then Dad gets killed, then Mom gets killed, and so what? Finally, so do we want to say how he finally wins the day?
I mean, I say no, but at the same time, nobody's gonna watch this.
Okay, no, but nobody should really. But anyway, so basically,
eventually he wins.
He wins. He destroys the shark, but he does it in a way through the comics, through his writing, through the comic strip, and he changes something in the comic strip that changes the outcome, and then basically he wakes up the next morning, Christmas morning, like nothing's happened. Everybody's there.
What I don't get,
everybody's alive. Nobody's died. He got his family back.
What I don't get is his comic didn't actually have an ending at that point. He could have literally just drawn a bullcrap ending and have whatever the crap killed Santa Jaws just then mutually die off.
Right, but that would have been kind of
it's like
that would have been kind of too easy for the movie. That would have made too much sense. Now, what part of this movie made sense? Why would you want to start making sense at the end? I mean, if you're gonna make a movie about Santa Jaws, where in that movie are you going to want to actually plan to be logical and make sense?
Here comes Santa Jaws. Here comes Santa Jaws swimming down the marina.
Don't you have to just suspend all logic and reality to, 1, write a movie called Santa Jaws, 2, act in a movie called Santa Jaws, and
poorly.
3, watch a movie called Santa Jaws.
So are you saying we gave up on life?
No, we gave up on logic and reason when we watched this movie.
When did we ever have those things to begin with?
Well, you do have a point.
I mean, Dad, literally in our genetic code, the DNA sequences of logic and reason were replaced with ADHD and nerdism.
So when did you get our DNA sequenced? Because I'd like to know that. That'd be really cool information to have. Sorry, I just had to go there. So
that's classified.
So now, was there anything about this movie that you liked, enjoyed, didn't like particularly? We kind of talked about this stuff.
I loved that it was so stupid.
It was completely
It's
stupid.
one of those movies that it's so bad it's good.
Well, now I wouldn't go that far.
This could have been a holiday Sharknado.
It kind of was, really, in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, the shark.
This could have been
The
a
shark.
holiday version of Sharknado, and could have had its own franchise of bad, crappy movies, just like Sharknado did.
So I mean,
There's
I
been
mean,
like 6 Sharknado movies. It's
the graphics of the shark was basically Sharknado levels graphics. I get that. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was one of those movies that's so bad it's good. No, I wouldn't go that far. And and as we talk about that, we always put Gora as one of those movies that's so bad it's good, but I didn't really find Gora bad. I just found it completely silly. So anyway, what I did are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, you just kind of look like you just kind of completely zoned out. So
I'm just scratching and stretching.
So I thought the kid, was it Cody was his name, or was that the brother?
Cody was the kid, Josh was the brother.
Okay, so I thought the kid that played Cody,
and was it Steve who was the friend?
I don't remember. Anyway,
I think it was Steve.
I thought the kid that played Cody actually did a pretty good job.
He did do an okay job.
He did an okay job of being like the sarcastic little teeny kid. I thought he did okay with that. I kind of really liked the comic shop owner. He was kind of funny. I liked him. It's kind of stupid funny.
He seemed kind of like a more scummy version of Stewart from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I can see that. Slightly less nerdy and pathetic than Stewart too. But anyway, and there was a whole plot line, there was a whole subplot line of him stealing the pen and using the pen to get things he wanted, but we won't go into that. But I thought they did a really good job, and it was filmed in these little towns in Louisiana, because I watched at the end. And one of the groups that was given a special thanks was like the local high school AV club or something like that. So I think they had played a role in helping make this movie. But I don't know if it was a real comic shop in that town or not, or if they, filled it up to make it look like a comic shop. But it looked like a real comic shop. I mean, a decent, it had comics everywhere, but it had all the board games and the role-playing games. Did you see behind the counter was an entire wall of dice? An entire wall of Chessex dice? I mean,
there was also an entire wall of figure paints.
Right. Yeah. So somebody, either they said, hey, we want to use your comic shop as one of the settings and we'll pay you some money to let us do that, and they did that, or if they just took an empty storefront and filled it, whoever did it right, because that was a good comic shop, had all the stuff in it. So I kind of like that.
I'd have gone there.
I'd have gone there.
There.
But there was, but I guess I should do that. We ran out of time probably 5 minutes ago. So I did like that. I thought the kid did okay. What I thought was funny was that, do you remember when the uncle and his little influencer wife, model girl, were in the yacht and he was getting ready to decorate before he died, and she came out wearing her bikini for all of her snapshots and stuff?
I still don't even think that was a bikini. There was way too much frill and detail for it to be a bikini.
It absolutely was. There was a style of bikini. Yes. But it must have been, they must have filmed this in winter, because she, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you could tell she was freezing because she had goosebumps from her shoulders all the way down to her hands and on her chest. She was freezing. You could tell she had chill bumps all over her. She was so cold. I felt so bad for her.
I mean,
I felt so
regardless
bad
of
for
where
her.
you are in the USA, in December it's gonna be cold.
I know.
Regardless of where you are.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, Miami in December is probably 70 degrees down there. So no, but But it must have been cold. I felt so bad for her. She had to be freezing, and then had to go out there and do the scene where she gets on her little float in the water taking pictures. She's on the water. She's freezing. I actually felt bad for her.
Yeah, me too.
But it is, Sharknado
It's
meets
one of those movies.
It is Sharknado meets Home Alone, pretty much. I mean, if you think about it, Sharknado meets Home Alone. So it was weird. It was weird. I would not really recommend watching it unless you just like watching really bad Christmas movies. It definitely was a Christmas movie.
Or just bad movies in general.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a Christmas movie because it was around Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't the whole debate Die Hard. It wasn't like the whole debate is Die Hard a Christmas movie or a movie set at Christmas.
I will die on the hill that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I will die on that hill. Just because a movie happens on the day of Christmas does not mean it is a goddamn Christmas movie.
Oh, God.
I will die on that hill.
All right.
So sometimes I don't even think Home Alone is a Christmas movie. Because
that one's much closer to a Christmas movie than Die Hard is.
Still, but the only thing Christmas about the movie is the time of year it is. It's not a Christmas movie in the way of it being about Christmas. It's about this kid trying to defend his home from a couple of robbers.
I know.
And Die Hard is what this guy trying to defend this company from freaking German terrorists.
Well, I mean, look, and I can see what you're saying with Die Hard, that it just happens to happen at Christmas. But the whole point of Home Alone is they're going to France for Christmas. They're going to celebrate Christmas as a family. They're just going to go to France.
That's
so
why
it is.
I can kind of argue.
No, it is set at Christmas. It is about Christmas. It just happens to center around the kid being left when the rest of the family goes to France for Christmas. So,
ooh, Dad,
that is.
Here's
yes.
Here's a debate me and Nikki have often.
We've missed
Nightmare. Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
I wouldn't know. I've never watched it.
Really? You never watched it?
I've never had the urge to watch that movie. I don't know why.
You should actually. The Tim Burton movies are actually pretty good. I love Tim Burton movies.
Some I do, some not so much. So it's never been one. I know it's probably I should one that I've seen, but I have never had the urge to really see that movie. So I've never watched it. I've seen clips and bits and parts, but I've never watched the whole thing. So I can't debate that question with you. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's really anything else to say about this movie.
There's not. There's really not. Let's just go to the movie we're gonna watch for next week's episode.
Sharknado meets Home Alone. That's kind of the way I see it. So yeah. So we did our movies a little bit different this week. I just kind of handpicked. I'm kind of handpicking again. So we're not really rolling. I'm going to call it rolling for Christmas. We're not really rolling for a movie at random because we want to pick some really weird Christmas movies. Yeah. So I picked another one. So I picked two, and then I'll look and see if I can find a third one. This one. So I'm going to let's just play let's just play our elevator music just for fun because I like it. Make it look like I'm randomly finding the movie. So anyway, So I picked a movie called Rare Exports from 2010. Okay.
And this is a Christmas movie.
In the depths of the Corventanturi Mountains, 486 meters deep, lies the closest ever guarded secret of Christmas. The time has come to dig it up. This Christmas, everyone will believe in Santa. So,
what in the ever what?
On Christmas Eve in Finland, Santa Claus is unearthed in an archaeological dig. Soon after, children start disappearing, leading a boy and his father to capture Santa, and with the help of fellow hunters, they look to sell him back to the corporation that sponsored the dig. And then there's Santa's elves, who are determined to free their leader.
This sounds more like they freed Krampus.
This is Rare Exports. Watch the trailer. I sent you the trailer. Watch the trailer. So that's what we're watching next Monday. Rare Exports, a movie from Finland about unearthing Santa Claus in an archaeological dig, and then kids start disappearing.
What streaming service is it on?
I don't even remember. I'll have to go look and see. I have to, but I'll let you know. But it's on one of them. So join us for that one. If you didn't like Santa Jaws, you're probably not gonna like this one either. But it's partly when you watch the trailer, it's partly in English and it's partly in Finnish with subtitles. So go figure.
So kind of like that Indian movie with random bouts of English.
Yeah, that one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of that movie that we watched. I'm not even
going
to
try.
Add a few more syllables and you're probably pretty close. Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Stop.
But that is a movie I would watch again.
I don't know that I would watch it again. It was good. It was much better than I expected it to be. But it was hard for me to watch, to keep up. Because
it was so long.
Well, not because it was so long. Yes, it was long. It was over 3 hours long.
Because of the subtitles.
Look, if I have to watch a movie with subtitles, and I've gotten used to watching movies with subtitles because you guys like watching movies with subtitles, even if you don't need them. So I've gotten used to that. But I need to see the movie, and it's hard for me to watch a movie and watch the subtitles at the same time. I can kind of get
a lot of practice with anime.
I can kind of get the gist of it most of the time, but they speak in that movie, Avane Srirana Mariana. They speak so fast, you can't watch the movie and keep up with the subtitles at the same time. You have to pick, watch the subtitles or watch the movie. So that's why I watched that movie twice. The first time I just read subtitles the whole movie just to see what was going on. And then the second time I watched it, I watched the movie because I kind of knew what was happening, so I could kind of enjoy the cinematography of it, which was actually pretty good. So we talked about a Santa killing, a Santa shark
impersonating shark.
Now we're going to talk about Santa killing kids, I guess.
Or kidnapping kids to turn them into elves.
That could be. Maybe. So I have no idea. But we'll be back next Monday to do it again and talk about more stuff and whether anybody shows up or not, you and I'll hang out and talk. That's what we always do anyway. Yeah. So if you listen to this on the audio side, we appreciate it. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of those kind of places where you listen to your podcast. Give us a 5-star rating, or any kind of rating would be good, just to let us know that you listened. And we'll kind of go from there. And we will be back here next Monday, same time, same bat time.
Same nerd time, same nerd place.
And there you go. So I don't have anything else. Hopefully I'll have an answer about a job, and I'll know exactly where I'm going to be moving soon by next Monday. And if not, we'll just keep plugging along. So that's all I've got. I don't have anything else going on.
Keep on trucking.
I appreciate you guys stopping by and listening, and we'll see y'all next time. And always remember,
stay nerdy, my friends.
Kind of an abrupt ending. I figure if we do 100 episodes of this, by the time we get to 100 episodes, we might actually know what we're doing. Oh! What's up, Jacob? Right as we're leaving. Sorry.
Right as we're leaving.
Bye and bye. We'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Maybe we should start at 9 o'clock. Maybe that'll get us. Cause
I can't, Dad.
No, you can't, because you got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, no, real life comes into play. So, anyway, thanks for stopping in at the end, saying hi, Jacob. We'll see you next time, man. So y'all have a good time. We'll see you. Bye, guys.
Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.